Code of conduct.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I put in extra work that just can't be found. I took the sword out the stone, wasn't a thing. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. God made me punch in accurate numbers. My castle won't crumble. What I tackle will fumble. I've been a leader when they ain't see it, but now my feet is up. According to me, royalty didn't end with King Tut. Crown on my head, clouds is at my legs. Big says sky is the limit. I look down on the ledge. I push the bar like I'm opening a cell. Hands in my cookie jar, you won't come out with a single nail. I need all of mine. The weight of my shoulders won't fit on a scale. What's a king to a giant? Well, Goliath fell. Even if we playin' chess, dog, this king can't be checked. I make all my moves on the board, I invented my steps. I'm a king, the blood of a ruler. I feel like Mansa Musa. Make your squad disappear like landing by the Bermuda. Triangle, look at it from my angle. I'm a king, the closest thing to being one of God's angels. I'm a king. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I put in extra work that just can't be found. I took the sword out the stone, wasn't a thing. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king. Look me in my eyes cause I'm a king.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is the Code of Conduct with the King podcast. I am your host, Jay Spencer King, and you are listening to this on the Buffalo Rumblings vidcast and podcast network presented by Picasso Pizza. Treat yourself to the most flavorful pizza on game day, Picasso's. We are Buffalo Pizza, shipping local and nationwide. Order online at picassopizza.net. It is Victory Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It's Victory Week so we just went through 3 division rivals back to back to back. We just swished the fish, and I got my man, the legend, the one and only Mr. Ruben Brown joining me again. What is going on? The Rube. I told you that's the name now. It's the Rube.
Yeah. I told you that Ralph Wilson story. It's all love, man. It was awesome to see you face to face and get to chop it up a bit. And as always at all the Bills games, it's full of excitement, just to get up in the morning and to build up to the game and just to see everybody's excitement for what could be and the possibilities, and then to actually go through the game and the Bills come out with the win. It just makes the whole experience that much better. Because we had an awesome time tailgating with all the fans that came over to the Mafia house and hung out with us and chatted it up and just shared their memories. And, everybody's just pumped about the game, looking forward to what the Bills could do and especially beating the Dolphins, Dolphins being our rival. So,
well, you know what? The thing is, it feels good because the rival it's actually a rivalry again. Like, it's back. You look forward to the Dolphins week, and not just, if we're beating them and we're blowing them out every time, or not because it's like 2 teams that aren't really good. You actually got 2 teams that I feel like, I know the Dolphins they just lost a few in a row, but I still think, if we're going to be honest, the Dolphins have a pretty good squad. Tua surprised me. I've been watching them all year. I'm going to be honest. I've been watching them all year, but against Buffalo in Orchard Park, the weather didn't kick in really until the 4th quarter, but man, he was putting the ball where it needed to be. There was a couple throws there where it's like, okay, Tua.
Yeah. Is that him? Yeah. People been talking about Tua as a talented player, and I think for us, like the people that watch him, and not in Miami or Dolphin followers, we don't see enough of his day-to-day work, and we don't see enough of the things that we would attribute to him to being a good quarterback. But when we do get to see him up close and personal, he's actually been pretty good. Yeah. He's a formidable quarterback, and I think as long as he's going to be at the quarterback for the Dolphins and be healthy is key. I think he's going to be a competitive opponent for us, and we're going to have to, build through the draft each year with these guys in mind. We're going to have to build in the draft thinking about what they have over there with Waddle and Tyreek Hill and the rest of the offense that they have, and we're going to have to make some organizational moves to basically keep them in their place and keep us ahead of them.
You know what? Let me ask you about that, because you mentioned Waddle and Tariq Hill. They have speed. Like, I feel like the Chiefs bothered us with that speed. Obviously, Tariq Hill was the reason why they did. But now he's in Miami. You got Jalen Waddle with him, so you got two very fast, quick, to me, good route runners as well. Like, I don't think Tariq Hill was obviously Stephon Diggs with route running, but he does his job. How did you feel about the secondary performance? I mean, they put up 29 points on us, and they, like I said, there were some plays there that Trey got beat, that literally everybody on our defense got beat. And I feel like when you have that type of speed, you're just going to get beat sometimes. But how did you feel the secondary did against those guys?
I think the secondary did an admirable job. I think they stood up to the test, so to speak. I would say this, just like you alluded to. I mean, these are top-notch guys. I mean, you just hope they don't go off. You hope they don't go ridiculous like you've seen them do in other games. And overall, I think our defense did a solid job. It's very hard to play DB in the NFL these days. It's a very tough position. I don't envy those guys one bit. They're earning every dime that they get for playing DB, because it's tough. You can't touch the receivers. And here's the key. Tyreek Hill and Waddle, they speed guys, and you can't touch them. That don't slow them down at all. They just come off the line running in top gear, and that makes it hard to defend. So our defensive DBs move around. There's a lot of people shifting, some coming, some going, some slightly injured, but overall, I think the unit is strong and solid, and is up to the challenge for people like Tyreek Hill and Waddle. As you see in this game, they got some catches, but they weren't the reason why. I would say, I guess they kept them in the game on some plays, but I don't think they were getting a steady dose of either one of those guys. I think each one got a big play in there to be expected, but they didn't have a lot of big plays.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that was actually, I wanted to ask you about, what did you see on the Dolphins side of things as far as their offensive line play? Because in the first half, man, it looked like that running game was going to be scary. You know what I mean? Like, they had some scary moments there where they kind of went off in that first. We shut him down in the second half. He didn't do nothing. Yeah. But that first half. So what did you see from their offensive line play? As an offensive lineman, when you watch, what did you see with Miami?
I think they were just taking advantage of some of the aggressiveness that the defense had, our defense had. And, early on, it seems as though they were way more committed to, trying to establish a run game. And they came out in the second half. I guess they tried to start it, but it just never got going. And plus, the work that our offense was doing, made them have to shift gears. But you could tell that they were committed when they came out, that was the right thing for them to do. They had to come out and do that because you and I know our Bills defense all year, that's been kind of like, if you're going to get them, you might get them in the run game, because we've been known to give up some big plays in the run game. But on this particular day, the defense was able to make enough big plays despite whatever they had done early in the run game that, Miami just didn't have enough. They didn't have that. They didn't have the effective runs in the second half that they did in the first half. Now you switch that around, it might be a different the game might go a different way.
No, our side of things, Mitch Morse is out with another, I think for his career, this is either 5 or 6 concussions for him now. Yeah. Man, them concussions ain't nothing to play with. And the offensive line is so much different when when Mitch is in, it's a completely different line versus when
Mhm.
he's out. How do
Yeah.
you how do you view the line with Mitch might not, with him being out?
It puts a lot of pressure on Josh and actually the other linemen around. Um, I would think, Saffold being the older guy there, they'll probably lean on a lot of information and assistance from him. But when you lose your starting center, the starting center is a big deal. A lot of people might not equate the starting center to being an athletic guy and all of these things. That's not true. The center can be very athletic, but the key component is this guy is he does all the translating. He gets
Mm-hmm.
communication going, and as the season goes on, that familiar or reliable voice next to you, or that one, the center being there, that everyone knows what his mentality is, what he does, what he sees, how he sees it, and they can play off of that. And you could see that the line, aside from the early exits of some of the injured players, all in all, has been gelling and has given, I would say, they've overachieved their expectations up to now.
Yeah, I do too. And I know the other day you and I were talking about Dion,
Mhm.
and the same thing, man. He plays big. I know he's big, he's athletic, but I mean, like, he shuts. I feel like he's. I agree with you from the other day. He's
Mhm.
the key to that line. It's his energy. It's his attitude. And look, they gonna go the way he go.
Yeah, they are. They definitely. And, they're going to listen to him and his direction, and it'll go forward. But that center, it is a tough, tough one to interchange. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Especially with one that doesn't have as much experience working amongst the rest of the group. Now, the good thing is all of these guys are very familiar with each other. And when you practice with an offensive line, you are constantly with all those guys. So you get to know them pretty well. And if a substitution has to come about, you're a lot, apt to do better in a game with a group of guys, opposed to, a patchwork of guys that are just been brought in off the street. So they have an advantage there. Everybody's familiar, everyone's in the group, but it's not the same once the ball is actually snapping this real play out there, because you actually start to learn your teammates more. You can go to practice, you can talk about it all you want, until you play that game and have live action in front of you. Then you find out who your guy is next to you and how he communicates, how fast he communicates, or what he might need help on, or what he's really good at that you see that's an asset. So there's a little bit of learning that they're going to have to do, but not too much, because these guys, like I said, already been practicing and knowing each other. I forget who did we just bring in from the pup list. We just
Ike
brought someone up, one
is
other.
Ike back? Ike Bucker. Let me
Yeah,
see.
but they're familiar with him, you know. So we're not like going out on the street and bringing in a lineman and then plugging them in and trying to do what Dallas is doing down there with Peters. Peters was at home on the couch and they called him up, and he been on the payroll for about 6 weeks and ain't even played yet. And I mean, you got to think about that. You got to get in, learn the plays, and learn the system and everything like that. So we're not in that situation, and
Well,
we should come out of it fairly well with the support of the rest of the guys that are doing a really good job on the line.
all right. Well, let me ask you this, and then we can get off the Miami game for a bit, and we can kind of talk about some other things. I feel like you got a lot going on that we should be celebrating as a fan base. But man, Saturday night this dude right here, and it's a shameless plug too. Go on buffonweg.com and go ahead and get this design. It's crazy, but Josh hurt his arm, so we've been calling him the Winter Soldier. He got the titanium, he got the vibranium arm, and he out there. Man, Josh ran all over them boys. He threw all over them boys, and then it was just like whatever he felt like doing, he did it. Talk to me a little bit about Josh and how he was out there just destroying people.
You know, he's doing what he should do. I really, you know, I don't know. I don't want to make any comparisons. But this guy, he is a complete quarterback. He's definitely a weapon at quarterback on the field. Not just what's so amazing and what's so cool about Josh is the fact that he can drop it from he can throw it from anywhere. The weather can be crappy and he can still gun it. You know what I mean? Like you're thinking, what can't this dude do? Well, he can't be that fast. Oh, yes, he is. He's that fast.
Yeah.
He's that fast. He's that big and fast. And I think what we like most about Josh, what I do as when I watch him, is once he can get into the second level, it's a mismatch. You know, there's no safety or DB, a corner or nickel out there that want any smoke with that. And very few linebackers, you know. I mean, if it ain't a D lineman getting a good angle on him, the rest of it, it's a wash. They're going to have to gang tackle that dude, or he going to have to trip on the shoelaces before they can get him. And, you know, it's really amazing to see a quarterback today like that being praised for that ability when, you know, I grew up watching a lot of the old quarterbacks, and I remember, you know, Randall Cunningham and a few other guys that ran the ball really well and threw it. And, you know, it was just no love for them guys. But when I played the video games, that's who I wanted to play with. I wanted to play with a quarterback that if he get back there and nothing up, he could take off and run with it. And we all of us done played Madden. You know that's an asset if you had that quarterback, that Michael Vick. You know,
it's over. It's over with Vick.
How you gonna win? You can't. You know, so I like that about him. And the fun thing I think I like about him is he has not the size or anything, but that Doug Flutie style of saying like I'm gonna scramble over here. I might see something, might throw a option pass to you. I might, you know, jump and pass it to you. I might just tuck it and run. You know, that's what the fun I had playing with Doug Flutie, with all those different possibilities in play. And that's what Josh got. He's got a lot of different possibilities at the quarterback position.
And it seems like now it's almost his signature play where he like runs to the sideline like he's about to run out of bounds, and then at the last second he throws a touchdown. It's just like the dude's incredible, man. And it's, you mentioned Flutie, and for me, obviously, I know everybody in Buffalo is going to yell at me, but like Flutie was my favorite quarterback for the Buffalo Bills franchise prior to Josh. Like I know we had Kelly, I know he went to the Super Bowl, but it was just something about Flutie that, like, man, he just made me excited to watch the game in a different way. He just had that it, you know, it's just like that it factor fun. That you just, I don't know how to explain it, but it was just like you knew the Bills was either going to be in the game or they was going to win. Like he was there. And Josh gives me that same energy, but with even more talent and like the physicality. And you talk about his running and the speed, dude. That one long run, the angle, the safety had an angle on him. And then he didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like
it was there, then it went real fast.
It was gone, man. So, you know, I just enjoy watching Josh play, and it's like you can tell he's thoroughly having fun too. You know, and that's the part that I like to watch, man. Like these boys is out there really enjoying themselves as a team.
Yeah, we like to see that. I mean, we're fans. You know, I'm a fan now, and I always have been a fan even prior to playing. So that's what attracts me to the game of football. Actually seeing other guys out there enjoying it and really going at it and doing that like, yeah, I would do that too. That feeling, and they give you that feeling because they out there playing and you can see the smile on their face. You can see them enjoying the competition. So that's what we love about it.
So talking about enjoying things, man. Saturday night before the game, or really all day, because I feel like we got there. It was like 1:30, 2ish, and we were setting up for the podcast that we did there. So me, you, Mookie, Justice, you had some other people sit down with you throughout the day. We had fun with that, but then you had. Let us know about some of your friends that you had up there. You had some alcohol that you was promoting and some. Let me know about that.
Yeah, so there's a one of my friends that's a promoter with the A team said that he wanted to get involved with us, and he had some liquor that he wanted to, get out there to the public and show them what he had. We also had a cannabis company out there. I have a flyer somewhere. I actually forget everybody's name that was on it, but we brought some people out there to do a little bit of promotion for them. They're interested in possibly partnering with us. So we decided, hey, let's tailgate. This way you guys can get a taste for what we do and what we are and what we're trying to, present to the public. We're just trying to give the public information, some insight, and give them something to go along with their build up to the games. You know what I mean? That's just my commentary and what I could tell them about the game and stuff like that. But this company, the liquor company, is actually out of Erie, PA. They're a distillery and they're trying to expand up our way. So we gave them an opportunity to present some of this stuff. It got a great response.
The apple pie moonshine, I'm gonna just tell you that one did it for me. That's the one for me.
Yeah, it's really good, and I think they had a few other ones in there, but we just brought the main one that really what everyone likes, and it was right. The test went perfect. Everybody liked it, so the company is considering coming back. I got to pull up the name. I don't want to say a name that ain't right because I don't have it right now in front of me. But you can go back and see all our stuff. We got the promos up and everything, so nobody's missing anything by me not saying the company's name right now. But it went well for them. They enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I mainly enjoyed it because I'm just out there mingling with the fans and talking to the fans. And we started early. Like you said, you got there around 1. I had already been there, and Anthony and the guys from Poncho's Army had already been out there set up and going at it, feeding people empanadas and stuff, and just having a really good time. So these are the company that helped us with the promotion. They brought out the musical acts, and we had some musical performers out there that evening that helped us, entertain the crowd. And it was really part of Sean's package, Rashawn.
Yeah, shout out to Rashawn.
Yeah, shout out to Rashawn and the A team. That's what they call themselves. It's an all one-stop shop. Anything to help you put a party together, you just call the A team, and they'll have everything from food to vendors to entertainment to you name it. So
so I put the flyer up just so we got Supreme Spirits with the alcohol, with the liquor, and then Canna House was there for the cannabis treats. It was some man. Listen, if y'all like ribs, if y'all like, listen, they had it. Okay, it was the Miracles Highly Flavored was out there for catering. The A Team band was there. My man Bizzle was on the drums. They had a good time, man. Had a real good time. So I've been telling people since Saturday. I'm like, oh no, if you're gonna party, and I haven't gotten a chance to party with like some of the other guys from the 90s. But it's
Right.
like, if you're going to party, I feel like Ruben got that down packed. Like he does that.
Well, there was a time when people were teasing me. I don't know if they were teasing me or being serious about it, but I was starting to get, negative feedback about me going to the Pro Bowl. And I was getting all upset. People was like, oh, yeah, Ruben's only being selected to the Pro Bowl because everybody liked the parties he throw. I'm like, what? I say, come on now. I could play some football too. Come on.
No, it was a party though. I mean, obviously you could play football, which is why right now you are up for the Hall of Fame. And I feel like first, I don't really quite understand. And we could talk about this next, I guess. But prior to getting that, before me talking about what I don't understand, I want to celebrate you first. Saturday, I came up to you separately, and I just let you know how much I appreciate you and why. But publicly, man, I just want to say, man, it's refreshing that, even though you weren't one of the 4 Super Bowl guys, like you weren't on that squad, you still you keep it thorough to Buffalo. You around Buffalo, you appreciate Buffalo. And because there was a time there before this team, like before Diggs and Josh and these boys got here, where Buffalo was talked about like it was like the Siberia of the NFL.
Yeah.
And so for you to be such a guy that obviously you're about to be in the Hall of Fame. So for you to be a guy that plays on that level and then you put on for the city that I love so much, man, we appreciate you for that, man. So let's talk about the celebration about this Hall of Fame thing, man. How does this feel for you? Like, what is this experience?
It's humbling, man. I don't really know. I'm trying to put it into the right place. And when I was younger, I poo-pooed it. I was like, I don't care. I ain't think about it. But now I'm older. I'm older, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, thank you for remembering, because I'm older now. I'm done with my young days when I didn't even care what anybody say, and till now, I'm like, I'm appreciative when people do mention my name. And honestly, that's what it is, all is for me. Now this year I've been nominated this is probably my 3rd, maybe 4th time nominated. I think I've been nominated that many times. I haven't made the semifinals yet, but that's no big deal for me. That's no big deal.
Well, that's the part. That's the part. When I was about to say that I don't understand, that's why I said we could talk about that next. So I don't understand how guys like you, Steve Tasker, and not just Buffalo Bills players. I can go with other
there's a lot
as
of
well. There's guys who clearly deserve to be in the NFL Hall of Fame, and it's just like, well, we'll throw your name out there for the first round of things, and then so that we'll appreciate you, but they don't quite get you there.
No.
I know you're saying like, you just appreciate being mentioned with those guys, but come on, man. It gotta a little bit gotta be like, well, damn, man, when am I gonna get in?
Well, I would be lying if I said I don't care. That's not true, because you're talking to a guy like yourself. You and I have something in common with football fans. All right? And I know even though I played football, you like me, we started this when we were kids. We were little guys. And as a little kid, I mean, anything football. If I would have got a football medal, I would have been walking around like it's the greatest thing on earth. So now I see myself. I started out as a fan. I was fortunate enough to play, and now I'm back to being a fan. I just couldn't be. I'm floored. You know what I mean? I'm really happy and excited and proud that people mention my name. But by not making the semifinals and stuff like that, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it, because I put it to you like this: the job I did, I wasn't a D tackle, which I wanted to be. I would have had some stats. I wanted to be a running back or something like that. I would have had some stats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we could have really had this conversation. But when it comes to offensive line, it's really word of mouth. Who's saying you good? You know what I mean? And linemen, you got to get a lot of help. The media got to hype you up, and a few other people. But more importantly, your opponents, right? And so, with that being said, I'm gonna forever cherish being nominated. I could be nominated 1,000,000 times, and on that 1,000,000th time, I could be selected to the Hall of Fame. But I'll tell you one thing that it'll never trump, and nobody on this planet ever trump it, is the fact that I hung out with Cortez Kennedy several times. Y'all know who Cortez Kennedy is. And Cortez was like, Brown, you should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know what they done thinking about. And I looked at him. I said, yo, me? He's like, of course. What you talk about? Look at all these other guys in here. You're way better than them. And for Cortez Kennedy to say that to me, hey, you put a stamp on my forehead, said good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what nobody say. Cortez Kennedy, Hall of Fame, the MVP of the league from D-line on a losing team, one of the baddest D linemen to ever play the game. It was like, yo, you better than all of them. I'm like, yo, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Thank you. The Hall of Famer told me that. And I feel like if you want to have an argument, go argue with Cortez and see what. Because you won't go argue with Cortez.
You couldn't.
No.
You couldn't. And so for those listening by podcast or even those watching, if you don't know, please go Google Cortez Kennedy. He's one of the greatest, most dominant defensive tackles. He went to University of Miami. He played with the Seahawks. The dude was like second to none. Obviously, you have certain conversations about who the greatest defensive lineman of all time is. I just feel like, you can tell football fans, like, people really know their knowledge when they throw his name in there. If you don't throw it in there, there's a lot of times I don't even respect the conversation.
There you go.
That dude right there, man, he was like that. So I can understand the sentiment where you say, like, when he said that, it was like, okay,
I'm good. I'm good. So the rest of this is just window dressing. I'll go along for the show. You can call my name each year, and I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna wave like the parade girl. But other than that, in my back of my mind, Cortez Kennedy already told me all I need to hear. So I'm good.
You said we validated. We good already.
I'm good. I'm good in the hood. Let's go in the barbershop and let's talk about it.
All right, well, Bills Mafia, let's do what we do, though. Let's make some noise for him. Let's hype his name on the socials like we do. You know how the NFL be. They want to hear from the fans about these things. Let's make sure we put his name in constant rotation when these conversations are up, so that way they know that they need to be talking about our man Ruben Brown. So let's get a little bit into the. I told you before the show.
Yeah.
I partied up, man. Y'all got me tired, so I'm still kind of tired. So I don't know if we're gonna do the full hour, but but let's get a little bit into this Bears game. I think the Bears game is winnable. Obviously, if you just take a step back and you look at the record, it's winnable. You look at the roster, it's winnable. But what I've learned is these are the games that, like, you can't go into those games thinking that these games are winnable. You have to go in there on some. Like, all right, we got to dominate. We got to win this game. So Bills first, because obviously the weather is also supposed to be another. I don't know what it is. It's following the Bills, and it's following them everywhere. Blizzard conditions. They said it's supposed to be like negative. I think I saw -11 or -9.
Yeah,
and then
different type of cold out there.
Yeah. So I don't want no parts. You won't see me in Chicago. You won't see me there. But Bills offense and then Bills defense. What do you think they have to do to pull this one out and to keep that win streak going?
Look, we talked about this about the last game, and it's that time of year. Speaking of the cold and the weather and everything, it's that time of year to get aggressive with your run game, hands down. And as we said before, not aggressive with Josh running the ball, just run plays that you can check into, where you can hand off to your running backs. We got capable running backs; they can do it. We see it. It's just we have to be committed to it. And this is one thing I worry about us. Have we ever been in a game where we're committed to the run and we didn't get scared and mess up because of that? And you know what I mean? Like sometimes people could come out with a game. The reason why early in the season our Buffalo Bills were able to march down the field and score so easily and everything, they had a great first 15 play script that they came out of the tunnel with, and also whenever they came back second half. But they were kind of like just using like, all right, these are the plays we know based on this defense that we're gonna try to hit these pockets, hit that pocket here and there. But I never saw in that first 15 of those drives, it never looked like they were out there to try and run. They looked like they were just out there to try to get to the end zone as fast as they can, in which they did. Where this part of the year, injuries, people wearing down, football is all about that grind. And you got to come out and put that grind on from the first quarter to the last quarter. And how effective can the Buffalo Bills be with a heavy dose of run? Are they built for that? Well, no, let me say that. They are built for it, but is the coaching staff in the box a little squeamish or get a little nervous if the game get tight and be like, oh, well, let's hurry up and pass it to Diggs so we can get it, instead of saying, hold on, 60-minute game, hand the ball off, wear these jokers down, it's cold, they ain't gonna want to stick their arm. Listen, I played in Chicago, I know. It don't matter. Come fourth quarter, you guys, why you think Walter Payton was so good? You stick your arm out on Walter Payton in that cold weather, he gonna run right through it, rip your shoulder, your pec, and everything. You're gonna die right there on the field because it's so cold. I'm telling you. So just run the ball, establish our running game, man. Right now, so we could carry it all the way into the playoffs. That's first.
I'm with you, but you know, I've been the one saying I don't want to run Josh. This is the one game that I feel like exactly what you're saying. Like you talking about why anybody who was a great running back, because they've had a few of them in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
But that's why
Thomas Jones, we did it to people. I mean, it was literally we were beating people up because it was too cold. They didn't want to stick their arms or anything out there, try to run up and butt you. And we like, thank you. Because we used to it, we're gonna mow you down. You know what I mean? So use that cold weather, that inclement weather, and it's grass field too. It's a grass field. So you know, you get a little bit more old school feel on that grass, and you need to grind it out. You can't just go out there and chunk it and pass and this, that, and other. I'm telling you, receiver's hands gonna get cold out there. I'm telling you, it's a reason why Green Bay and Chicago be having the advantage. I'm telling you, it's that cold, boy. Woo-hoo.
See, but that's the reason why I want Josh to, like, normally I'm the one saying, like, I don't want to run him. I don't want him to be the leading rusher on the team. Right. This week, I want him to make them suffer. Like, you know, you got a 6'6".
Oh, yeah, man, put the pressure.
You know what I mean?
Hurt him
with him
when you can. Hurt him when you can. Get back there. Don't waste no time trying to get down to your third receiver. Take off. You know what I mean? That's the type of run I want to see from Josh. But I do want them to dial up run plays. And I'm tired of the NFL. Does the NFL look like every run play there's somebody in the backfield and stopping them? Does any running back ever get a run straight up to the line and be able to cut at the line? It seems like running backs are being tackled in the backfield all the time, don't it? I mean, it seems like a lot of that for some reason.
And so, you know, so I don't know if that's because of because, you know, over the years, obviously, I feel like every year guys coming into the league are better than they were, and then they're faster, they're more athletic, they're stronger. And, so it's just things that now when you compare them to years past, you would be like, well, you know what? It's just different. They coming up doing stuff in college that we were doing after we was in the league for however many years and whatever. Yeah. But then at the same time, it's like, dude, y'all not blocking. You know what I mean? Like, I just see team after team after team where it's like when they call a run play, the same effort just isn't there when you consider a passing play. And I don't get. So I agree with you, man. You have a couple teams that are dominant, but those dudes that are dominant with it, they run like that. Like Derrick Henry, he gonna run like that whether you block or not. And nobody want to tackle Derrick Henry.
Thank you. And that's really that's an aspect of a football team. If they got you in trouble, man, because that's a bruising group, and you're gonna leave lumped up. So I mean, offensively, that's what I want to see. Now, our defense, I think it's a perfect game. Take turnovers. Turn over, take that ball, take it to the house. I hope they have at least one touchdown off a turnover somehow. I want them to knock that ball out. I think they can do it. And here's the thing. Defensively, I know we lost Vaughn. And a lot of times when you lose a player like that, you think, all right, we got to compensate more. So now we're going to blitz more. Now we're going to dog more and things like that. I don't think so. That's necessarily the case with this defensive line front that we have. I think our scheme of bend, don't break, and try to get pressure with the 4 up front is an adequate enough attack to go in against the Bears. I don't think we have to sell the house to go get the Bears, and because Fields is dangerous. I mean, you over blitz him and miss him, he's gone. I mean, literally gone. I mean, it ain't no joking about it. He's gone. Yeah. So, I mean, even though he's young and still growing and things, that's a chance you don't need to take when I think our front four, I forget who's up on the bill, but I know Rousseau's healthy, and Rousseau is coming on strong at the right time. At the right time, he's coming on strong when we need him. And I forget who's out, Phillips or
Phillips is out. Phillips with the shoulder. Yep.
Yeah, Phillips is out. But Oliver's giving us enough, and we got enough of a rotation that we don't have to make a steady diet of dogging and blitzing, sending linebackers and DBs. So because I think if we got our coverage team is superior than what they have at receiving anyway. So if we stay in some decent base coverage, I think that'll give our D-line enough time to put the pressure on them so we don't have to allot too many people. And we want people back against Fields. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you ain't seen the film on him,
he like that.
Yeah, you want to keep a high safety or somebody. You know what I mean? Even though he can't pass, he could throw some passes, but he ain't no Josh Allen throwing the rock. And he ain't no Patrick Mahomes. But, hey, if he decides to pull it down and run, you might be looking at 6.
And he's that kind of guy, kind of like Daryl in the comments said, Justin Fields is Diet Lamar. You can't take this squad lightly. But you know what? That's the thing, because he has that big playability where once he decides to take off, man, he can zigzag through your entire defense and score a touchdown. And, like, nobody will touch him. Nobody will touch him. So he's incredible, man.
He does it effortlessly. Just like how like Michael Vick used to throw that ball and it just like fly out his hand. Like, what? How did he do that? He didn't even use any muscle effort, and it's gone. And it seems the same thing. I'm like watching Fields, and I'm like, man, he's scooting down the field, and it don't even look like he trying to move fast, and he moving fast.
It looked like he jogging while everybody else is sprinting. It really does. And it's incredible. Like, and I know we just gave Josh his props as far as his speed and running ability, but Josh runs differently. Like Josh.
Oh, yeah. He a truck.
Yeah, Josh is a Mack truck,
Yeah.
whereas this dude, Justin Fields, is a Lamborghini, and
Yeah.
and he out here. He got all the control he need, and he gonna get there.
He
And
can stop and spin and go, and he got it. He got it.
and I'll tell you what, if you pay attention to, there's a couple games obviously where they get blown out. I know
Mhm.
the record isn't good; they're 3-10, but if you look, man, he keeps them in games like against good teams.
Yes, that's the word out in Chicago. Everyone's upset with the organization because they feel like that the organization hasn't done for Fields what the Buffalo Bills have done for Josh. If you look at Fields' surroundings, I mean, the general manager's been changed over. I gather he's new first or second year or so. Coaching staff's been switched over on them. These ain't the people that drafted him, and they teaching him a different offense than what he known before. You got to commend him for, not losing it. I mean, being like, because I'll be slamming my helmet on them guys out there
Man.
because they really, from top to bottom, they haven't helped him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You draft a guy first top pick like that, you supposed to go and say, I give you an example. I told you a story about Ralph Wilson, the nickname that he had for me. But the one thing that I loved about Ralph Wilson was he would come and sit down to the veteran players on the team and talk to them about, so guys, what do you need? Like what will make you win some more games? And I'll never forget the year I was a rookie and Jim Kelly, we were sitting on the bench, and Jim Kelly was like, you know what, Ralph, you got enough. You need to build something as big as an airplane hangar over there so we don't have to go in this little blow-up bubble anymore. Next year, Ralph Wilson built what is the facilities that the Buffalo Bills are in today. He did that within 1 year after talking to his player on the sideline. You tell me, a guy that was committed, that's somebody committed to, man, I'm going to get what we need for our guys. And Chicago's not doing that for Fields as of right now.
That Ralph story is interesting to me because, and I know obviously after Jim and after a lot of the guys left, the narrative changed. But for a while there, people were saying that Ralph was cheap and that he wasn't going to spend. But like when you hear stuff like this, it's like, no, man, these dudes not only were drafted, but you had relationship. He treated y'all like sons or nephews or whatever. And that, so I love hearing that. But back to your point about Justin Fields, man, this year they traded away Allen Robinson. They sent him out to LA. They, I like Mooney. He's injured, I believe. I think he's on injured reserve right now. They got a couple good running backs. Khalil Herbert is really good. Montgomery is really good, but they don't run them right. The offensive line isn't. We just talked about how they can't even get out the backfield before they got two guys hitting on them. And then, so it really does feel like he has a great tight end. Great maybe is a
very good.
I'm reaching. Yeah, he's really good. I think he can be great if they develop the rest of the team around him and give Fields the opportunity to really develop into a good passer there as well. But no, he's dangerous, man. I'm not nervous where it's like we're gonna lose the game, but it's like, yo, y'all better watch this. He can have 3 rushing touchdowns by halftime if y'all don't pay attention.
See, honestly, if the Bills are smart, coaching staff is smart, this is a great game for them to be like, well, let's get tuned up for the playoffs. This is the type of team that you could practice like playoff type scenario with because, you got an explosive running quarterback over there that could sneak away from you and accidentally score 2 touchdowns and you didn't expect it. And now here you're in a tight game. You know what I mean? And you got to dig yourself out of it. And we need this joker now. And this is the perfect team to do a practice run on. A team that's got enough fight in them. You know what I mean? It's like that boxing match you tune up before the heavyweight fight. You know what I mean? If you go in there slipping, the guy might knock you out. But if you go in there and do what you're supposed to do, you should knock him out in the third, fourth round or something like that. He shouldn't be hanging around in the fourth. He should be done. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. And with them being an NFC team, I enjoy watching them, and I enjoy, rooting for Fields. I'm not gonna root for him this weekend, but man, it's gonna be a cold one. Now we talked Saturday, and then we can get on out of here. But Saturday on your show, we talked a little bit about like playing in the weather, and you actually enjoyed playing in the snow weather like that. Do you enjoy playing in this type, like the -9, -10 degree weather?
Oh, negative is the worst, and no, I don't like it. I when I was younger, I could handle it a lot better. The older I got, the worse I could not handle it. I mean, if someone scratches you on your skin, like I was the lineman that I didn't wear sleeves. So I'm talking if someone just gently scratches your arm, it feels like someone just sliced you open with a blade. I'm telling you, like a scratch. You would have to look at your arm to see if you bleeding, because that's how bad like a scratch across your skin feels in that type of cold weather. People don't understand that. Like, I if you want to know that what it feels like, go get a knife and cut yourself. And
Man,
you'll know what it feels like to play in that type of weather.
I just everything about that, the way you just said it, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want to like that's just, and that's why I said like, I made the sacrifice and made the trip this past weekend.
Yeah, don't
Chicago's
do it.
Different.
Don't do it. Listen,
Yeah,
I did it because I love the competitive. I'm a football player. I go out there and anything and do it, but I live and came away from the experience, and I can tell you, unless you're getting paid to go, stay your ass at home watching on TV. Because look, I'm watching them on TV and I'm going, woo, 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 woo.
And I tell you what, even if you're getting paid, it depends on that check. Because not all checks are created equal, man.
They not, boy. But I appreciate it, Jay. You the man.
Yeah, man. I always appreciate you. So we're gonna get on out of here. Why don't you you got anything coming up that you want to plug real quick? Or
no, I'm actually gonna be going to Chicago for the game. I'm taking my son out there. My son's a Bears fan. My oldest is a Bears fan. My daughter and my middle son, they're Bills fans. So
okay, I mean he got a fair though. He got a fair. I can't be mad.
I tell people you can't get mad, man. You know what I mean? It's what it is. They show me love. I'm going out there to check the game out, and we just rooting for the Bills, man. We're looking for them to pull this win off and keep it going.
Now the Bills, do they? I mean, you ain't got to, but I mean, they gonna keep you warm at least, all right? The Bills gonna put you somewhere, or you gonna be in the stands with people?
Actually, the Bears gonna keep me warm.
Okay, no, okay, yeah, good, okay, yeah, stay
Bears,
warm, bro.
Yeah.
Well, all right, I'm gonna get on out of here too, man. Y'all already know how much I told y'all. I appreciate my man Rube, and I do need y'all to know that the Code of Conduct is brought to you by my man Buffalo Freddy at 716-4-FREDDY. That's 716-437-3339. I know I just told y'all how the A-team and them boys had some good barbecue, but I'm gonna tell you what, Dan has better barbecue and better brisket. Got some of the best brisket in Western New York. If you don't believe me, hit my man Dan Freddy up. He gonna do that thing for you. If you don't like it, I'll Zelle you back your refund. And then on top of that, if y'all need to party, he got tents. He got chairs and tables and all this stuff. He got the bounce house. It's cold right now, but he got the bounce houses, and he got a shirt gun. So if you want to be in the back like you at the game and be popping on, we did it at the Mafia House Saturday.
Yeah.
He got all of that stuff that you need. Hit my man Buffalo Freddy up. That's 716-4-FREDDY. Again, 716-437-3339. Hey, and y'all know how I do it over here with the Code of Conduct. Y'all love each other, take care of each other, and live in peace. And as always, stay positive, test negative, go Bills.
Code of Conduct.